may be in this room. We believe you are hiding in plain sight.
Keep your babies close to you. There's someone out there.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's missing person case is Don. Also, today's person of interest is Olivia. Today's missing person case is Corey.
What's going on there, man? We have a kidnapping. Hurry, please, Flame.
What's up, everybody? Thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you guys can hear me okay, please put a 1 in the chat. As I adjust my mic here. So thank you guys so much. I am Chris with Monsters Under Our Bed. I cover murder mystery to the paranormal. And today we're going to be talking about the terrible tragedy that happened last week in Idaho with 4 college students. But before we get started, of course, if you're newer to the channel, I also like to feature the missing. So we're going to go ahead and do that first, and then we'll start diving into the case. Today we're going to kind of just do a recap of everything, and then 1 hour from now is supposed to be the new press conference. So I have that all set up and ready to go. So that will be the plan for today. Thank you guys so much for putting a 1 in the chat. It's good to see everybody. So quickly, let's get started with the missing real quick here. And I do take requests. And so a lot of these that I do are requests from my viewers and stuff. So today we have Delano Burks, who is 26 years old. Looks like he went missing on the 13th of this month. It says the missing person was last seen leaving a bar near 1200 block of West 20th Street in Houston, Texas. The missing person left on foot in an unknown direction. And there's actually a video of him kind of like wandering. I guess he was bar hopping. So he is 5'10", approximately 200 pounds, black African American. Let's see, any other notes? If you have any information, please call the Houston Police Department at 832-394-1840. And let me just, so this is kind of a screenshot of him, when I guess either leaving one of these bars here. But he has not been seen since the 13th of this month. And so one more, another request is sent in. So this is, it was kind of hard to find the information because he's been missing for a long time. So this is Jesse. He went missing on March 20th of 2008. It's been a long time, but they do believe he's alive. This is kind of a custodial thing where the father apparently abducted him. His dad is Claudio Dominguez, who has a federal warrant for custodial interference. Jesse would now be 16 years old. So here is a look at obviously when he was taken. This is kind of an age progression, I believe. of what he would look like now. And, or actually, no, I think this is just a, okay, actually, no, this is just a photo. I'm used to doing the age progressions on this. So this is actually a photo of when he was taken, or just before he was taken. I'll have to see if I can find one with the age progressions, but he would be now 16 years old. So there is that. Let me see if there's any notes on that. Marks his 15th birthday. So November 20th would have marked his 15th birthday. Father and son, who would be now 16 years old, believed to be in Mexico, could be back in the United States. Jesse's father was angry at Rosa, who is the mother, I believe, because she had just given full custody of their son after divorce. When she called the police to her home, they told her they couldn't do anything because she had not had done the paperwork to prove it. The next day, Monday, was a holiday, so she delayed another day. It was too late. They had already fled. I guess Claudio, the father, was driving a green Ford F-150 pickup truck with Texas license plates 73ZCM4. So if you have any information, please call 911. All right. Thank you so much, Michelle, for becoming a member. Thank you so much for the support. Okay, let's get on with today's show. So we'll kind of just recap everything, and then, like I said, on the hour will be the press conference, which, let's just double check here. So starts in 51 minutes. So we'll just kind of recap everything, and then when that comes up, we'll switch over. We see Tony D. Good evening, everyone. Good work, Chris. Thanks so much, Tony. Tony works with EquiSearch. Me and him and EquiSearch were out looking for Dylan rounds in the middle of October. It was quite an experience, something I'll never forget. They're amazing volunteer work, and he taught me so much about my drone that I use to help look for Dylan and hopefully future other missing people. So honored to have you in here. Okay, so let's kind of recap everything. Let me make sure you guys can see that okay. Let me put this down real quick. Okay, so we have 4 victims. So we have Ethan Chapman. He is from Conway, Washington, a Bulldog at Mount Vernon High School. He played basketball and tennis before graduating in last year. Chapman wasn't the only family member to attend the U of I, University of Idaho. He was a triplet with a brother Hunter and a sister Maisie, who is also enrolled at the University of Idaho. He, of course, was dating Xana Kernodle, who is this girl here. She's just 20 years old as well. She's a junior from Post Falls. She majored in marketing in the College of Business and Economics and was a member of the Pi Beta Pi, one of the 10 sorority chapters at the university. And of course, she was dating Ethan. Then we have Madison, who goes by Maddie Mogan. She was a senior marketing major at the University of Idaho. Mogan worked as a server at the Mad Greek in Moscow with Kernodle and used her budding social media managing skills to run the restaurant's social media page. She is also childhood friends with the girl on her right, Kaylee Goncalves. Kaylee, who is 21 years old, was a senior majoring in general studies in the College of Letters, Arts, and Social Science. She was originally from Rathdrum, where she worked part-time jobs before going to college. One of those part-time jobs, she worked as a barista at the Jitters Espresso. And of course, she was childhood friends with Maddie. So, so young, so beautiful, so young. Such a terrible tragedy. Okay, so moving on to the timeline here. So here's just kind of a picture of all four of them together. So this is just kind of a little bit more recap. So they were students at obviously the University of Idaho. They lived at a nearby off-campus residence in Moscow, a college town of about 25,000 people. They had two other roommates at the residence. It's a 3-floor, 6-bedroom apartment. So it's basically got 2 bedrooms on each floor and 3 bathrooms. I'm assuming 1 on each floor. So just the day prior, on Saturday the 12th, they had kind of went out. One of the couples went out to a party, and the other ones went to a downtown bar. That was on the Saturday night. And then fast forward to Sunday. So basically a week ago, November 13th, Mogan and Goncalves ordered at a late night food truck at about 1:41 a.m. The food truck's live stream Twitch shows. They ordered $10 worth of carbonara from the grub truckers, and they waited for about 10 minutes for their food. As they waited, they could be seen chatting with each other, with other people standing by the truck. And Ethan, the couple, Ethan and Xana, who are on the right here, make sure you guys can see that, were home at this time. So 2 out of the 4 were home at that time. The other 2 were at a, so here's kind of a map of everything. So the residence is here. And Kaylee and Maddie that were at the grub truck, this is located on, looks like Main Street. Not sure exactly how far, maybe 5-10 minutes. I'll have to look that up on Google Maps. But so they were at the grub truck here ordering some food just around approximately 1:41 a.m. Michelle Nicholas, member from 5 months. 5 months, yay! Thank you so much. I know time flies, and thank you so much for your support. So another 45 minutes before the presser. Correct. It'll be on the hours. Yep, 45 minutes from now. So just kind of recapping everything, get everybody up to date on what happened. So there's just kind of a quick video of this live stream. I'm sure if you've followed this case, you've kind of seen this. There are a few, at least one figure that people have kind of seem like he's kind of suspicious, and that's the guy with the white hoodie on. Let me go to the other video here in just a second. This guy actually did an interview. If we have time, we'll look at his interview.
Hi. Hello.
Hi.
Welcome back.
Thanks. I think I would like the
Yeah. That.
the car.
So, quick fact: my cousin dates a gal that actually runs a business, a kitchen, where food trucks come and they prepare all their meals and then head out. So she owns like a building where there's a kitchen, and then all these owners that have these, trucks come and prepare some of their food and stuff. So yeah, it's kind of interesting that someone in the family actually kind of runs something like this.
Okay.
But if I have like a free grub truck on my like app,
Oh, yep. So what you want to do is we'll actually do this. There you go.
thank you.
Absolutely.
How many more do you need? That's the second one? Awesome.
Dawn's mom. Oh wait. Yeah.
So a lot of people, at least early on, think this guy's kind of suspicious. He does seem to kind of hover, and as soon as these girls kind of leave, I don't know if they're waiting for their order. When they move over, he does kind of follow them.
Maybe I
Here.
didn't have a free one.
It's right here.
And then what was the mac?
Don't forget to remove the
The
spoon.
carbonara.
The carbonara mac of the week.
Here, I'll grab it for you.
Excellent. And then click see rewards.
Enjoy.
And it looks like you do not quite have enough points yet.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay.
I do have a big burrito pork here for you.
Cool. Thank you.
47. Thank you very much.
That's a good question.
Pen go, guys. Where's my pen? How are you guys doing?
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. You prepared, Derek.
It's because I try not to forget my wallet. It's a good reason.
That's
Not
smart,
to
Derek.
forget
It's
your
probably
wallet.
good to not lose your wallet. Guys, fuck yeah, great ticket times. Honestly, like Luke, Tebow, really solid.
There's that same guy here. And then here the girls leave, and
Thank you.
it's interesting because he's like, "Oh hey," right as they leave, he kind of
Solid.
throws his hand up, like, "Whoa, wait."
Order
Girls
85.
leave, and he's gonna throw up his hand here.
Thank you.
It's like, what the hell? I don't know. Some people said he's been cleared, but I don't think anyone's been officially cleared. But yeah, that's been a lot of people have been saying that. So
Big burrito, but I'm gonna be really quick. I'm so sorry.
Cheese sauce.
Can I get it with that? The Chipotle slaw?
Yes, you absolutely.
so anyway, but I can see why people. I mean, clearly he's knows them or something like that, something to that effect. All right, so moving on. So now that they get home sometime after close to 2 a.m. And so now all residents are home and either some are asleep. Now what's interesting is at 2:26 a.m. Kaylee starts to call Jack. Now there's a lot of confusion because apparently there's up to 3 Jacks. I've heard some people say there's 2 Jacks and 1 Jake. But either way, and I'm not going to dive too much into that because until they, ever since the Kylie Rodney case, I really don't want to dive too much into like surrounding persons of interest until they actually name somebody because I don't want to, hand out names and faces and start having people's lives torn apart, So anyway, at 2:26, Kelly starts to call Jack. Now there is one of the Jacks is supposedly an ex-boyfriend, which may be this Jack. Kaylee calls Jack apparently 6 times between 2:26 a.m. To 2:44, and then made another call to that person at 2:52. She said, and that came from, I believe, the cousin or sister of Kaylee. One of Kaylee's roommates, Madison Mogan. Now remember, Madison and Kaylee, they're childhood friends. They're the ones that are on the piggyback here. So I'm assuming since they're so close, they would probably have the same circle of friends, even along with these other 2, Ethan and Zaina. So one of Kaylee's roommates, Madison, also made 3 calls to this same person, Jack, from 2:44 to 2:52 a.m. Mogan was also among the students found dead later that day. So the calls happened between 2:26 and 2:52. So a total of 9 calls. So 6 from Kaylee and 3 from Maddie. So that's in a period of 26 minutes. Now what's interesting is that they were, supposedly killed in their sleep. So I think that's really odd that they'd be calling him. I think maybe that means that if the murder took place, it was more likely after the phone calls took place. Because I mean, if that happened during that time, I would assume that they'd be calling 911 and not a friend. So, to expand on that, detectives are seeking all outside surveillance video taken from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. So, and that's posted on the Facebook page. So, I think that is probably their timeline or their window of when this murder could have taken place. And yeah, we'll kind of look at, because they did post some like updates. I mean, it's not super new, but it's within the past day, and so we'll look at that. Because yeah, supposedly, because obviously there were 6 people living there. These 4 were murdered. Sadly, the 2 that were on the first floor. Early reports say that one of them that were on the first floor had made the call to 911, which happened just before noon on, would that be Monday? So let's see. Okay, so we went over that. Oh, excuse me. So no, yeah, Sunday, excuse me. So at about noon Sunday, a call came in to 911 about an unconscious person at an off-campus residence. Police did not say who called 911. Arriving officers found the door to the residence open and discovered the bodies of 4 fatally stabbed students. There was no sign of forced entry or damage, police say. Oh, interesting. So local news said it was the neighbor. Huh. Very interesting. Let's see if we can find that article if we have some time. So, all 4 students were stabbed with a large knife. They believe something like a K-bar knife, which is very kind of unique. It's usually something like Marines and stuff like that. They get, but it's anybody can get them, obviously. And there are like real K-bars, and then there's even fake K-bars. They look the same, but they're not like, I don't know if they're the same exact material, but so there are like real K-bars and then some fake K-bars that go a lot cheaper. So most of the fatal stabs were delivered to the upper torso and chest area. That was released kind of in the autopsy. While looking for possible evidence, authorities seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road. Police appear to be looking for a Rambo-style knife, which is a K-bar, which I've got pictured up here. This is what a real K-bar would look like. Would have the United States Marine Corps imprinted on it. Let's see. The Idaho Statesman reported police were looking at local hardware stores, looking for a K-bar brand knife, a brand that apparently that particular store that they released this information from reportedly didn't sell. So I guess that's what they're looking for, is some kind of K-bar or something to that effect. And so here's what it looks like. So you guys can see. So here's the first floor, second floor, third floor. So there's an entrance which has got a key code on the first floor. There is an interview that we'll play where I can't remember who's doing the interview, but this guy talks about how apparently there was, not only did the 6 people that lived there had the code, but apparently some of their friends also had the code to this door. So that's kind of interesting. Then you've got this chain link fence that runs along here, but it's not very tall. I mean, it's 4 to 5 feet. I'm 6 feet, so I guess it is kind of tall. But there's also a patio door on the second floor, and then also a patio door on the third floor. And someone mentioned earlier, I saw in the chat talking about, Yeah, you can see in one of the photos there's a stool that's kind of wedged almost to like block the sliding door. If we get a chance, we'll look at that because I did see that today too. So here's just a couple of pictures of the residence. There's the sliding glass door. As you can see, here's some bar stools. I believe this is the patio door. There is a picture where you see one of these stools on its side and the glass door is shut. And it's actually kind of wedged up against the, the screen door, almost as like to block anybody from coming in or out. Here's just kind of a look outside of the residence. Here's a new photo I haven't seen before of one of the windows. It's kind of tough to see. It looks like you got a blanket here, a bag. Kind of tough to see, but it looks like a decent sized blanket here. Not sure if this is the second floor or the first floor. Another picture. Okay, so this is something new that was released. It's just a 14-second clip. Okay, so the context of this that I took, sorry, it's not, I can't zoom it in. So apparently they've kind of went back to the scene, apparently, and they're recollecting some more evidence. And a reporter had seen that they were kind of focused on the one side of the house, as if maybe if this person was on foot, if maybe they tried to escape out the one side. Because if you saw my live, and we'll kind of look at just the surrounding area, but it's kind of like a dead end street. So if let's say the perpetrator had a car, there's only one way in and one way out. So you'd think there's a good possibility that someone may have seen a car that night. But if they did leave on foot, I guess maybe it could be possible that they could, have gone out and went through a couple of neighborhoods. So let's see. Okay, so just this was released kind of yesterday. Just some clarifications. So the cell phone used to call 911 belonged to one of the surviving roommates. This is according to City of Moscow, the police department. Due to the ongoing investigation, the identity of the caller has not been released, which to me makes sense. Let me move this over so you guys can see it okay. Let's see. At this time, detectives have investigated so this is another thing that was kind of confusing. So this is also updated information. At this time, detectives have investigated the private party driver who took Kaylee and Maddie home on November 13th and do not believe he is involved in the crime. Now, it's weird that they switched the Uber driver to private party. And because when I kind of started reviewing the case, that just kind of came out. And I think some articles had spun it to where it wasn't an Uber driver and now it's just a private party that took him. So I'm not sure what they mean by that. If that's just like a friend that took him, that's just kind of they're not releasing his information, or if this is still the Uber driver. But they did change the wording, which is weird. Detectives believe that on November 12th, the two surviving roommates had been out in the Moscow community separately but returned home by 1 a.m. So that would have been obviously the two that were not murdered, but they had came home before the other four. Initially, the 911 call was made at 11:58 a.m. on the 13th, which is obviously in response to an unconscious person. Detectives confirmed the victims were located on the second and third floor. They also addressed detectives are aware of multiple phone calls from the victims of Maddie and Kaylee to a Mel. This information is part of the ongoing investigation. So they do address that did take place, which is really interesting. 9 phone calls to the same person is really interesting. Let's see. Seen that. These are just some of the updates. So I think if you haven't followed this case closely, there were some defensive wounds on some of them. Most of them, they believe they were asleep. There was no sign of SA, any kind of assault. Let's see what else is there. So I think, and this just kind of shows how much is being involved. 4 detectives. I mean, they've got a lot of support, not only from the local law enforcement, from FBI as well. And let me refresh this real quick, see if there's any new details. Okay. Okay, so this is talking about the press conference. Okay, so I just want to take a look at that. So here is Jennifer Coffindaffer just kind of weighing in on things. We'll play this for a minute. Yes, I see some people mentioning about the dog. If we get a second, I will play that as well. Actually, we'll play that clip first, I guess. This is trigger warning. What he's going to say is a little disturbing.
The latest on the University of Idaho murder of 4 students is 2 of the women got a ride home from a mystery individual after eating at a food truck. Police are now looking at tire marks in front of the home. We also learned there was a keypad on their front door that they used for entry, and many other young people in the area had access to the house. They knew the code for the door. Some residents have drawn a connection between the killings and a man who says he discovered his neighbor's dog skinned alive barely 2 miles from the crime scene. They also note that the students may have been killed with a Rambo knife, which may also have been used in skinning the dog. The latest on the University of Idaho.
So anyway, this is Marcus de Paula. I don't know who he is, but clearly he does TikTok videos, but yeah, interesting. That's been kind of coming out with the I guess this happens somewhere within 2 miles of the homicide that this dog was skinned alive. So absolutely very disturbing. Okay, we'll listen to what Coffindaffer has to say. I've got a couple of interviews. They're kind of newer, I haven't seen. I'll play hers real quick.
Coffindaffer, always appreciate your insight. Thank you for being here, Jennifer.
Absolutely, Natasha.
So according to reports, one of the victims, Kaylee, spoke about having a stalker. Jennifer, what do you make of this?
Well, it's going to be a very important key in this from the standpoint that that person needs to be looked into immediately. And I have no doubt that law enforcement has already possibly identified who that is and is on the track to try to figure out if they had a role in all of this.
And Kaylee also made 7 phone calls back to back to her ex-boyfriend, Jack, according to her sister. Those calls went unanswered, but how can that information help the investigation?
Well, any and all phone calls, text messages, social media avenues in terms of communication that happened just prior to that event and well in advance of this event are going to be looked at closely. Look, this has to be somebody that is familiar with them, and in my opinion, they were looking at someone specific to go after. Sadly, it would seem that he came across other people, perhaps going bed to bed, until he found the person that his rage left all of these individuals deceased, sadly.
Right, and we know there are 2 other people unharmed, also a dog present at that scene. I've seen some speculation online talking about why could it be that the dog wouldn't alert the sleeping people in that household as to what was going on there. Is that just wild speculation, or could,
or did if that dog didn't alert, maybe that means that this is somebody they knew that's been over there, because now somebody says it's not a household dog. Yeah, I don't know much about the dog, but I would just take that at face value that is interesting. If the dog was there, depending on what kind of dog, I guess, but if it didn't bark or anything, maybe it's because it knew who this person was.
could there be a piece to that person being known within that space?
Well, I think that person is possibly familiar. We know that there was no break-in. They seem to be familiar. But to say the dog didn't wake the other 2 individuals, this is 3 and 4 in the morning when people are fast and hard asleep. And apparently, from what I understand, behind closed doors. So even if the dog barked, perhaps they thought they were barking at something else. What is clear is they did not come to inspect what had happened until quite later.
Appreciate that. And can you talk more about the significance of the large knife? I know Ryan was mentioning this. The county coroner told News Nation that somebody had to be pretty angry in order to stab 4 people to death. What can we glean from that being the murder weapon, the knife being the murder weapon, and also the amount of blood that engenders? What does
Milani says the dog was a little dog. Oh, interesting. Well, just from my experience, usually the little dogs are the noisiest. Usually, the little dogs try and make up for their height or size, and they're the barky, the yappers. So interesting. Unless it was a puppy, I guess.
does that mean for potential footprints in that area, even the attacker leaving their own DNA behind?
Well, the beautiful thing in terms of an investigation that this type of horrible act leaves behind what we call trace evidence. That trace evidence can be hair, can be fibers, can be carpet. It can be all of many things. And I totally agree that to have this kind of attack happen, it is likely that they would have stabbed themselves in some way, a small way, cuts and so on. We also know that there was blood splatter. And all of that is so significant, and it's going to take quite an investigation.
So I'm seeing a lot of people saying Labradoodle, which is funny. Well, not funny, but which is interesting is I have a Labradoodle. Well, it's not my dog, but it's my cousin's dog. But yeah, we have a Labradoodle. And he is, I love him. Of course, I love all animals. But he is a little bit of a barker. Not like small dog yapper, but he's still, anybody outside, I mean, he barks at. Even the neighbor that he knows, he'll still bark at the neighbors. So usually they're pretty alert.
To pour through that crime scene.
I mean, even as we're talking about this, it's hard to stomach the details and to imagine how violent this was. It does seem that there are so many holes investigators need to fill still. We are 7 days out. How much harder is it to solve a murder like this as time continues to pass?
It's harder, but they're going to solve this. The biggest thing they need to find out is who was actually being targeted of the 4. You would think that there was one person being targeted and that the other 3 were there and were incidental to the person's rage that they had, because this is a homicidal, passionate rage that they had toward one of those 4.
All right. Former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindoffer, thank you so much for your time.
Okay.
Thanks, Natasha.
Yeah, I hate to even talk about that. I'm just going to make a note of that. So the little dog was the one skinned. That's so... animal cruelty is the worst. There's a special place and those people will go to do something like that. All right, so we got 15 minutes. So, wow, time's flying. So we're getting close. Let's see. All right, to lighten up the mood after what we just kind of had to
give us more insight into
this
investigation, we turn to former FBI Special Agent Jennifer Coffindoffer.
Close you down real quick. All right, so we started a new thing on this channel a couple days ago. It's just a quick little segment just to kind of, lighten up the mood for a minute before we switch over to getting ready for the press conference. It's called Crazy/Useless Facts. So I'm going to get that ready real quick just to kind of get a little laugh and some interesting things. So start that real quick. Okay. So crazy/useless facts of today. So movie trailers got their name because they were originally shown after the movie. So that's kind of interesting. So I guess if you went to go get your popcorn and there was a long line and you came back and you missed the movie, well, there'd be a highlight trailer at the end back in the day. I forgot to grab the year that this supposedly transitioned, but it's kind of interesting. Another crazy/useless fact is right-handed people on average live 9 years longer than left-handed people. So I don't know what you left-handed people are doing, living a little more on the edge or something, but I thought that was kind of interesting. I was hoping to find the statistics on that, but that is true. So kind of interesting. One more. The inventors of Pringles is buried in a Pringles can. Now, of course, they made a giant Pringles can, like a coffin, and buried him in it. So his name was Fred Bear, and he was the inventor of the Pringles. And yes, he was buried in a giant Pringles can. So kind of interesting. Oh man, the Dexter's not sure where that leaves me. Laugh out loud. Well, just say you're right hand dominant. You're born right-handed, I guess. So, but anyway, so yeah, like I said, it's something new that I am right-handed. But I actually, fun fact, before we get ready for the press conference, I did break this hand, but I didn't know I broke my hand. And I just thought I sprained it because I skateboarded for like 12 years. Anyway, I thought I just sprained it. A year goes by and I was at work and I was using my hand and all of a sudden it went numb and it started getting worse. Like each day I'd go to work and it would get numb and I couldn't feel anything and I couldn't do anything and then it'd kind of go away and then just it kind of progressed and then all of a sudden I started getting a lot of pain. Anyway, so I went in and had it x-rayed and they're like, oh yeah, well this has been broken for over a year. And I guess when it broke, a piece of the bone had chipped and kind of slid down my wrist. And anyway, actually, I had to have some pretty extensive surgery where they actually had to cut out. Let's see if you can see here. They actually had to cut out that much of my bone. So this right here is actually metal. From here to here is actually metal. So kind of interesting. Not fun. Okay. I request skateboarding videos of Chris. I do have some skateboarding videos from back in the day. Okay, let's we've got 13 minutes. Let's just check on let's get everything ready. So, yep, 12 minutes, which is right. Okay. I'm going to do one thing just so I know that we're all ready to go, and that is get the volume booster ready on that. Okay. So that's all set. Okay. So we're all set. I even have a backup link because they're showing it on a couple of different platforms. So I do have a backup platform just in case there's any problems, but I think we should be good. I think since we got 10 minutes, maybe we'll listen to just a part of the interview with the parents. We'll kind of skip it. They kind of talk about the victims, which I think, is kind of important.
Expedite things with this mobile unit. Hopefully they're reaching out to other DNA processing type companies such as like 23andMe to get involved. They have not confirmed that they have DNA from this person. They just said that they have a ton of evidence. And evidently today with the new task force, the new FBI task force on site, and the FBI, of course, and Idaho State Police, they said that they were able to pull a ton of evidence from the house today.
Yeah.
And they're processing that. So it just takes time.
Yeah, we've only heard positive stories about your daughter and the other victims out there. We couldn't find anybody to say anything about them. It's only been that they were givers. They loved everyone on campus. You see the videos on social media of them being so happy.
Okay, I'm going to pause this. I'm going to switch over to where it takes me out of the view for a minute because I want to do that when we get up to the press conference. Just let me know if you can hear everything okay. I just want to make sure.
Happy. Did y'all have any clue?
Okay.
I mean, there haven't been a murder in you guys' town since 2015.
Hopefully you guys can hear that okay.
They may be unsafe on the campus. Was there any indication?
Absolutely not. And if they were, we would have told Kaylee to come home immediately. And same with Maddie. Maddie's family is our family. I know we're very close with them. They are not speaking out. They choose not to speak out, and they have asked us to please go ahead and speak on behalf of Maddie. They were best friends from little girls. She was part of our family. Kaylee was part of their family, and absolutely not. Our son went to that college. No, absolutely not.
My daughter was aware of her environment.
Very aware.
She turned her camera on. She would film when she thought somebody was following her out of a mall parking lot or a grocery store. She was very aware that, she was a pretty girl and that, it could attract some problems. So she was alert. She was a streetwise child.
She herself was a web sleuth, literally through and through. Listen to, which is just so ironic and just so surreal in all of it. Just very, sad for families when she'd hear about this type of stuff happening. Like, Mom, did you hear about that? Or Mom, did you hear about that?
Keep track of it.
And she was very well of her surroundings, very well. I mean, she would think somebody was following her, and she would call me and say, Mom, I think there's somebody following me. And I'm like, well, Kaylee, call the police, and then she'd say, oh, never mind. They just turned into 7-Eleven. I mean, she was aware, and very aware. And she locked her doors at night, and she locked her car. Kaylee was home, had just been home, so we are so thankful that she had just been home for a week and a half. She just bought a brand new vehicle for herself, her first vehicle. She had planned a trip. She was planning on backpacking across Europe for the month of January, starting her new job in February with this internship that she had done, wound up offering her a full-time, very well-paid position that she was very excited to take. And she was with us for the last week and a half. She went home Friday to literally go show off her new vehicle. She was like, Maddie has to see my new ride. Like, she has to see this. And she was talking to Maddie the whole time, going back and forth between the car she was buying, and said, I'm not going to tell you. You're just going to see me pull up and wait till you see what I pull up in.
Wow.
And that was Friday. And we spoke to Kaylee on Saturday, and she sent me pictures, a lot of the pictures that are online. And they were both of our girls. And they.
When was the last time y'all spoke? When was the last time? What was that conversation like? Was it just like you described?
Kaylee called me on Saturday. My birthday was earlier in the week, and I didn't get anything for my birthday. Boo-hoo. We were, she was like, it was not a big deal. But Kaylee called me on Saturday and said, Mom, I'll be home on Tuesday, and I'm going to take you out to breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's all on me, and we'll celebrate your birthday. And I said, well, I don't know if I believe that, meaning she'd pay. But that sounds great, Kaylee. And
okay, so I got to pause that so I'm not stealing everything. Okay, so we got 7 minutes. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I am both dog and cat lover. Cats are my favorite just because I'm kind of like a cat whisperer. But yes, I am a huge all animal lover, and we used to donate to the Humane Society. We donated over $1,000 to the Humane Society this year. And for me, I think that's, quite an accomplishment. And maybe we'll do that again sometime soon. There's one thing I saw. I love this new addition to the life. Oh, yeah, the crazy useless facts. Yeah, we've got a couple other things we're going to do just to kind of make it a little more fun and, just take a break from all the crazy stuff. So we've got 5 minutes. We'll play just about 2 more minutes of this little interview, and then we'll get ready for press conference.
And I'll see you on Tuesday, honey. And then she sent me a couple pictures of her and Maddie. And that was on Saturday afternoon around 3.
Have you had the opportunity to talk with any other victims' family members? I know you all are grieving together.
Only Maddie's. And
it was just over at our house.
We just had Maddie's mother and father here. They were here for a couple, and it was very emotional for us today. That was the first time that we had gotten together. And just sad beyond belief, just beyond anybody's worst night. Absolutely. I mean, I'm sure you could only fathom,
yes,
but
ma'am.
it's just it's heartbreaking. Maddie was an only child, but like I said, she was our child as well. Yes, and even Kaylee, how many siblings she had, she would always say 6. She said 5 sisters and a brother, or 4 sisters and a brother. And that was always Maddie. Yep. Maddie was in our oldest daughter's wedding. She said, all of my sisters are my brides.
Milani, did you send that? If you can, I'm not sure where you sent it. By chance, did you send it to my email? Because I could pull it up while we're watching the press conference. Area 51. Whoa, how did it get over here?
We found Sprizzy through a Google search, pretty much. I was looking for...
I don't know how it switched over, but that's about good timing. Yeah, if you could send it to my email, I'll join the mob crew. And if we get time, I know it's kind of a touchy subject. Okay, Will, sounds good. Yeah, I've been trying to get caught up on my emails. But let's get ready. We got 4 minutes. So let's get this all ready. Got countdown going here. Make sure I got my volume booster set up. Okay, so we got a volume booster. Do that. Okay, so I will be able to make it full screen, obviously, once it gets started. And That one, yes, I did. Okay, awesome. Thank you. If we get time, I'll see if we can look at it. I know it's kind of a touchy subject with that. Okay, well, yeah, if you can from now on, if you can, try start using the, you know, the newer one, join the mob crew. It'd be nice to just kind of get everybody that, because I still have problems with that email, even with people that have started emailing back and forth. Sometimes I still get emails that just, I don't know where they go. It's so weird. All right, so we got 2 minutes here. If you're just joining, we just kind of recapped everything. And now we're about to listen in on the new press conference here, which is going to start in just 2 minutes. Another thing that we're going to try to do with this channel, along with the kind of the stupid, interesting facts, and kind of, change things up a little bit, is we're also going to do like the dumb criminal of the day. And so we'll find an actual criminal and something stupid, like a guy stealing a purse from a store or whatever. And then we're going to kind of make it into a game, nothing long or anything, but, something to kind of change the mood and something that people can interact. So. Yes, I can. So sometimes I think now is, I guess, if someone wants to like donate, and then I can send out a bunch of gifts, depending on how much you donate. I think that's really dumb. I don't know why. Okay, they're starting. We'll definitely talk about that after.
Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Chief James Fry with the Moscow Police Department. The last spelling of my name is F-R-Y. I'd like to introduce Moscow Police Captain Roger Lanier, Colonel Kedrick Wells of the Idaho State Police, University of Idaho President Scott Green, Dean of Students for the University of Idaho Blaine Eccles, and Latah County Prosecutor Bill Thompson. This incident has shaken our community, has continued to shake our community, and we continue to mourn for the victims. We will continue.
Okay, so the volume's good. I can always boost it if
needed. And pursue justice in this case. It is a complex and terrible crime, and it will take some time to resolve. Today, we want to clarify what we know and where we're at in this investigation. Our primary goal is public safety and to get a completion of this case and bring someone to justice. We continue to dedicate all the resources to this investigation. We've had 646 tips received, and all will be processed, vetted, investigated, and cleared. We've done over 90 interviews in this case so far, and the Moscow Police Department is utilizing the assistance from the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and Latah County Sheriff's Office. The personnel that has been assigned to this from the Moscow Police Department is 4 detectives, 24 officers, and 5 support staff. Federal Bureau of Investigators, we have 22 investigators in Moscow, 20 additional are assigned and located in the Treasure Valley, Salt Lake City, Utah, and West Virginia. We have 2 behavior analysis individuals from the Federal Bureau of Investigation. For the Idaho State Police, we have 20 investigators, a public information officer, ISP Forensic Services, and a crime scene team. We have 15 uniformed troopers to assist our community to help provide the additional resources for our patrols. Detectives are looking to develop any content that would help us in this event. Anyone who has observed any notable behavior or has any video surveillance or can provide relevant information about these murders, please call our tip line at 208-883-7180. Or you can email the tip line and that is tipline@ci.moscow.id.us. At this time, I would like to introduce Captain Lanier to give you some additional information.
Good afternoon. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain over the Operations Division for the Moscow Police Department. My last name is spelled Lanier. I just want to first state that this tragic murder has shaken the community. It's been very hard for members of the community, and it's been equally difficult for our officers and for the investigators. We will continue to put all of our resources towards investigating and bringing this to a resolution. Here's what we've determined so far. On the evening of November 12th, Kaylee Gonsalves and Madison Morgan were at a local bar and were later at a food truck in downtown Moscow. They arrived home at approximately 1:45 a.m. on the morning of November 13th. Ethan Chapin and Xana Kernodle were at the Sigma Chi house before also arriving home at approximately 1:45 a.m. Two surviving roommates were also out in the community, and they returned home at approximately 1 a.m. and did not wake up until later that morning. On the morning of November 13th, at 11:58 a.m., a 911 call was placed to the Whitcomb Dispatch Center reporting an unconscious person. The call originated from inside the residence and was made from the phone of one of the surviving roommates. Moscow Police Department officers responded and located 4 victims, 2 on the 2nd floor and 2 on the 3rd floor. The Latah County coroners conducted autopsies, and detectives have been provided with the results of those autopsies. We know that the autopsies confirmed the identity of the 4 victims, determined the cause and manner of death as homicide by stabbing, and determined that it was likely all 4 victims were asleep during the attack. Some of the victims had defensive wounds, and each victim was stabbed multiple times. There was no sign of sexual assault. Investigators have determined 2 areas of interest within the city and have provided maps which are on our Facebook page and on our website. And these are areas that they have canvassed for additional surveillance video and tips and have contacted several residents in the areas. The areas are generally south of Taylor Avenue to Palouse River Drive and west of Highway 95. Detectives have also canvassed several other neighborhoods looking for evidence, looking for additional surveillance video, and contacting residents and speaking to them to see if they may have heard or seen something. I want to address several areas of speculation, conjecture, and misinformation that has circulated on social media platforms and otherwise. We do not believe the following individuals are involved in this crime: the 2 surviving roommates, a male seen at the grub truck food vendor downtown, specifically wearing a white hoodie, a private party who provided rides home to Kaylee and Madison in the early morning hour of November 13th. Additionally, the identity of the 911 caller and the 911 call have not been released, so any information out there is speculation about that. Investigators are aware that multiple phone calls from Madison and Kaylee's phone were made to a male subject. Any online reports stating that the victims had been tied and gagged are not accurate. Detectives seized the contents of 3 dumpsters on King Road and searched those dumpsters in an effort to find additional evidence, but nothing of note was discovered. Early in the investigation, local businesses were canvassed in an effort to see if any fixed blade type knives may have recently been purchased. And currently, there are no suspects in custody, and we have not located a weapon. I want to assure you that every investigator involved will continue to put all of their resources and all of our partner agencies' resources into continuing this investigation. We do appreciate the community support. We understand how stressful it is, and we will continue to work through this situation. At this time, I would like to turn the mic over to Colonel Wills from the Idaho State Police.
Thank you, Captain. My name is Kedrick Wills, Kedrickwills, and I serve as the Director of the Idaho State Police, and I appreciate your attendance this afternoon as we talk about this horrific, horrific crime. The murders of Ethan, Xana, Madison, and Kaylee are a tragic loss to all of us. Nothing we can do will bring back these young lives. But we have an absolute commitment to working together to solve these senseless murders. And the way that we know how to do that is partnerships. And our partnership with the Moscow Police Department, with the Idaho State Police, the Federal Bureau of Investigation, and the University of Idaho to bring this issue to a conclusion and bring this to justice is absolute. We continue with Idaho State Police resources here on the ground in Moscow and throughout Idaho. Whatever the needs are, that's what we want to do. And the chief spoke about the Idaho State Police resources that are here, and he spoke about patrol resources. And we have those uniformed troopers here in Moscow and on the campus of the University of Idaho to help people to feel safe and to provide that security to the people that are here, both in the student body as well as in the community at large. And we will continue to do that as long as is necessary throughout this time. In addition, that's in addition to our forensics team that was here, in addition to our investigative team and all the other state police resources. We know that people want answers. We want answers too. As was already mentioned, this is really, really difficult for those investigators, those dedicated professionals who are investigating this crime. And a lot of people have expressed their desire to help, and the best thing that most of people can do to help is to stop with any kind of rumors and just seek official information that comes out of the Moscow Police Department. Anything that we have that we can share from a law enforcement perspective, we will be sharing just as soon as we can, because that's how we think that we can get this to conclusion. Please rely on official sources of information, and please be patient. I understand that everybody wishes that this was solved already, but these things take time. It takes time to work through. You heard the stats of all the tips and everything, the interviews and everything that's been done. This takes time for our investigators to work through. So please be patient as we work through this investigation. We owe this to these young kids, to these young adults. We owe it to them. And we are absolutely dedicated to make sure that that happens. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to introduce the University of Idaho President, President Scott Green.
Scott Green, President, University of Idaho. Last name spelled Green, like the color. First, we continue to extend our heartfelt condolences to the families and friends of the victims. As stated earlier, we want justice and appreciate the increased resources from the Idaho State Police and FBI that have been brought to bear on this crime. We fully appreciate and share the frustration of our students, employees, parents, and community members who continue to push for answers. While we wait for answers in the investigation, we've ramped up our security safety practices and are listening to students and supporting them in any way possible. The University of Idaho's primary focus now is on supporting our students and working to meet their varied needs. The police continue to inform us that they believe this was a targeted attack, but we recognize this is not good enough for some of our students who will want to complete their semester remotely until the person who committed the crime is in custody. We are also hearing that some students want to be back on campus and in Moscow because they gain comfort from the structure of classes and being with their friends and professors. All reactions and feelings are valid, and we all process these tragedies differently. We're asking instructors to plan for both sets of students as we finish the semester. We will be communicating decisions early this week so that families can discuss and plan their individual response over the Thanksgiving break. We learned a lot during COVID, and we have many course delivery options our faculty can deploy to meet student needs. Student and employee safety remain our priority. We have increased security patrols on campus since we were notified of this off-campus incident. We have also benefited from increased Idaho State Police presence on our campus, which we are grateful for. They have been a very visible force, and they will continue this dedicated presence on our campus into the foreseeable future. Importantly, they have also assigned resources to the community since this crime occurred off campus. In addition to the campus-wide precautions being taken, we offer the following safety and security features in our residence halls. We will continue our Safe Walk, available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. All residence halls are locked 24 hours a day and only accessible by students that live in the building. All guests must be accompanied by a resident of the building. Each residential community has a dedicated resident assistant staff and a live-in full-time resident director to help ensure a safe environment. Every evening, there are resident assistants that are on duty to perform safety and security rounds in their area, including during fall break. Housing and Resident Life always has at least 2 full-time staff members that are on call to provide support and emergency response 24 hours a day, including over the fall break. And our Learning Center Information Desk Living and Learning Center Information Desk is open 24 hours a day and will be open all of fall break for our students' needs. While we certainly hope there is a swift closure with the arrest of whoever is responsible for this crime, we must also be prepared for all the possibilities, including a lengthy investigation. We must balance safety concerns and the need to grieve, along with the long-term needs of our students and our employees. We're making security our top priority. We are also planning for the very real possibility that some students aren't comfortable returning to campus. We will do our best to meet the needs of all students. Our faculty is working hard over the break to consider alternative delivery methods. We will also continue making counseling services available for all our students and employees as we process our grief. The care and concern for our Vandal family is our primary role, and we take that very seriously. We are a Vandal family, nothing means more to us than family. And I'd also like to just thank all those for the great outpouring of support we've received from the nation. It's been incredible time, and all those who stand in solidarity with us, just know it means a great deal to us. Thank you.
So we're going to open it up at this time to about 8 to 10 questions. We ask that only 1 question is asked per person, please. And I would also like to just see if there's an Argonaut reporter here. I think it's only fair to give our student reporter the first shot.
Speak up if you're in the room, if you're from the Argonaut.
Are you from the Argonaut? Are you from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Is anybody from the University of Idaho Argonaut? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Ted Williams, Fox News. You all have said that these killings are targeted. Can you share with us why you believe they are targeted killings, and do you know who, if any, of the victims were the actual targets of the killings?
As we stated earlier in the previous press release, or press conference, we believe they're targeted because we take a totality of all the circumstances that we're looking at. Do we know any one person that it was targeted? We're not able to say at this point in time due to our investigation, but we still believe that. But we, like I said, we take a totality of everything that we're looking at.
Chief Glenn Mosley, Idaho Public Radio here in Moscow. On the resources, do you have the resources that you need?
We do have the resources. It is an incredible outpouring of what we receive from the Idaho State Police and from the Federal Bureau of Investigations and Latah County. Anything we ask for is given. So at any time, if we need additional, all I have to do is call the colonel, and he will provide that. He's already guaranteed me that, and I know the FBI has said the same thing.
Hi, Emma Epperly from the Spokesman Review. I know you've said you're not going to release who the 911 caller was, but was the killer the 911 caller?
I will tell you no.
Can you clarify, you said it was made from the roommate's phone, but you didn't say the roommate made the call. So did the roommate make the call on the roommate's phone, or can you clarify if it was another individual who made the call?
Actually, if we could just go to this one first. And
Well, it's a follow-up, that's why I wanted to.
so what I'll say to that is it was made from the roommate's call, or phone, excuse me, and we're not going to divulge who made that call. It's part of our investigation still, and when we get ready to release that, we will.
Hi, Christina Corbin with Fox News. The male subject whom the women called, has he been ruled out as a suspect or person of interest?
Everything that we have taken from those calls, we have followed up on, we've cleared, and we believe that there's no connection there.
Gotti Schwartz, NBC News. Just following up on the 911 call, you said that you don't believe that's the killer. Can you conclusively rule out the person that called 911 from inside the home as a suspect in this case?
Can you go ahead and just ask that one more time, please?
The person that was inside the home that called 911 that was not one of the roommates. Can you conclusively rule that person out as a suspect at this point?
I don't think I said that it wasn't one of the roommates. I said that it was used with the roommate's phone.
I believe somebody asked if that was the killer, and you said no.
No, that's correct.
Was there someone there other than the two roommates when police responded to the home?
So will you clarify that for me?
You're not confirming a roommate called 911, but you used the roommate's phone. So was there someone else at the home other than those two roommates?
There was other friends that had arrived at the location.
How many? And was that a call?
Honestly, I'm not quite sure at this time, to be quite honest.
Do you guys have any idea if the killer's still within the community, or are you looking outside the community for the killer in terms of their physical location?
We are looking everywhere that evidence would lead us. I can't say if the person's here. I can't say what community the person's in. We're utilizing every resource we can to make that location of that individual. And part of that is the safety of our community is paramount, and that's why we brought in the resource that we brought in to keep our community as safe as we can.
Being so close to the border, does that make it kind of automatically an interstate investigation? Can you comment on that?
I cannot comment on that. I'm not even aware.
If you look in Washington at all, I guess, for...
We're looking everywhere. I'm going to take two more questions.
Do you still believe this attack was done by one perpetrator? And if so, how does one individual kill 4 people at night and not wake up the other 2 roommates?
Our investigation will continue to look at all avenues of that investigation. I cannot disclose any of that information. I don't even know that information at this point in time, and that's why we're continuing to investigate.
So you don't know how this happened without the other 2 roommates hearing it or waking up or noticing?
We do not. One more question.
Hi, Angela Palermo, Idaho Statesman. In the press release yesterday, you confirmed that the victims were found on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the home. Can you say which of the victims were found where?
I'm not going to go ahead and disclose that information. They were found on the second and third floor, and that's as far as we're going to go with that part of the investigation too, because all those key pieces do come to play later. So we do thank you. We thank you for meeting with us. We thank you for helping get information out, and I can assure you we will continue to work hard. We will continue to do everything we can to solve this. So thank you.
Is this related to any animal mutilation?
Are you in the toxicology report? This person will strike again.
In terms of victimology, do you think the victims might be connected?
Okay. Turn that down real quick. Okay, yep. Oh, that's done. All right. So, okay. Thank you guys so much for being respectful. So I didn't really release too much. It looks like they kind of cleared some things up, some rumors. I wrote all that down just in case if you missed anything. They did release a few tidbits. Nothing major, but we'll just quickly go over them real quick here. So let me just kind of put this off to the side here and just let's put this as the backdrop here. So the private driver has been cleared. The guy with the black hoodie or the white hoodie, who we've kind of pointed out many times, has kind of been unofficially cleared. He kind of worded it interesting. So the driver and then the white hoodie guy. Jump it down. Let's see what I got on this one. Sent to the friend. Also, the person that multiple calls were made to. So let me pull that up real quick. So between 2:26 and 2:52, 6 calls from Kaylee and 3 calls from her friend Maddie to a guy Jack. He apparently said in this press conference that that guy has been cleared. I don't know if that's officially cleared, but he did use that word. Or has been looked into, I guess we should say for now. They did want to mention, because there was a rumor going around that they were tied and tortured. He said that was not true. Right now, as of now, there are no suspects or weapons. And we can change the page. Come on. And then just a new little tidbit. The killer was not the caller, but there were other people in the house besides the. So there were 6 people, obviously 4 murdered, the other 2 roommates. But they did release something new saying that there was other people that had arrived at some point, either after the murders. And so there was more than just those 2 surviving roommates that were there. And so they haven't clarified if it was the roommates or their friends or whoever arrived after the murders that made the call. But there were other people there besides the 2 surviving roommates that were there that had arrived later after the murders. So yeah, nothing big. Read deeply, nothing. That's so Read Deeply says a nothing burger with mayo and ketchup. You know what? But I'm glad they at least do it. You know, I saw somebody and I forget. Let me go back and I find it. But yes, I wish they would do something like the Dylan Rounds case. And be a little more, I agree. They need to be a little more transparent on, what's going on. It's better to have something than nothing. So, unfortunately, yes, there was not much, but they did clear a few things up, but I'm just kind of checking the chat here. Yeah, it is scary that they seem to have no direction yet. So, just to top off before we get going here, they have, so, obviously when this first happened, they sent out, the regular forensic team to collect everything. And then I guess they sent a new team out recently to kind of re-go over some stuff. And that was kind of part of that video I played for you. I'll play for you one more time. It's a real quick video. It's this clip here. Oh, now it's full screen. That's weird. So anyway, so this is kind of on the west side of the house, I believe. Or no, that might be on the east side. I don't know. But on one of the sides of the house, and they're kind of looking at some possible other evidence, maybe some tracks. That's just my speculation, of course, but I believe this is that new team that kind of came out and is reassessing the scene there. So, and then they did discuss how many. Let's see, did I write down the numbers here? So yeah, they have the involvement of obviously Idaho's State Department, FBI, and so they have like 3 agencies kind of helping with this case right now. So that's good. So let's see. Yeah, obviously they're not going to say much about the scene because people are wondering, okay, which floor was the victims on, and obviously they want to hold back certain information because if they do interview a possible person of interest or a killer comes forward, they want to keep information close to the vest, so they kind of know that they have the right person. You can see into the 3rd floor sliding doors from the parking lot below. So yeah, we'll just take, before we dip out here, we'll just take a little look at just kind of the surrounding area here. Okay. Put on the layers. So here is the road. Here is the home where the pin is at. Make sure you guys can see that. Okay. Scoot this over a little bit. So this is the house. Now this is kind of a dead-end street. So basically you could kind of go here. Everything that's kind of below this kind of line here is up kind of up on a higher ground. So if the perpetrator did drive, he could only drive here, and then he would have to go back down Queen Road, King Road, and then he could either exit out of Taylor Ave, either going left, which would wing you around out this way here, or he could go down Taylor Ave, take a right. But I said if he did take a vehicle, he is in kind of a dead end here. Now, if he was on foot, and that video I just showed you, that guy was actually kind of in this area right here. So a perpetrator could have, and we'll just kind of do a street view here. You could actually see the guy up in this area here, scoping some things out. Fortunately, I can't go any further, but if he did leave on foot, he could have went up here, but he would have had to obviously climb through some neighborhoods. So we can get a view from, oh no, you can't. So anyway, okay, let me see. I don't want to get too graphic. Let me just take a look and see if I got that email. Oh, there it is. Okay. Click on it. Okay, I see it, Milani, but is there a link to click on? Okay, I'm just gonna read this. So last late after 2 a.m., our neighbor's sweet little dog was skinned like a deer. No animal did this. Our dog is bigger and was so anxious about the same time that he tore his bed up into 1,000 pieces. Also, our cat has been missing for the last couple of days. Not sure if this is tied to Halloween, and I don't really care. I'll be chambering all my firearms, and I would suggest everyone else in North Moscow to do the same. Okay, so that's what Mulani sent me. So I guess that little incident with the skinning of an animal happened within 2 miles of this, or I guess in North Moscow. So terrible. Let's see. Yeah, since the good hoodie guy is out, my next guess is the stalker guy. Yeah. Kimmy says I tried that too. There is drone footage out there around the home on YouTube somewhere. Okay. I'll have to look into that. There's some other things I'm going to look into after this show. So what Steve says. He says the order of deaths, movement through the house, entry into residence, path taken after deaths will be very revealing. Yeah. So for those that may not know, this is Steve from True Crime Web. He is a former detective, law enforcement, from Georgia. He's someone who I collab a lot with and have just the utmost respect for. And if you're interested in true crime channels, I would definitely go subscribe to True Crime Web. He does an amazing job. And we'll hopefully have him on here real soon. Maybe even talking about this case. So, but I think with that, we've been on for started 3, so we've been on for an hour and a half. I think we're gonna probably end it there. Just thank you for anybody who donated. Donations really help this channel. I put everything that comes into this channel back in to help find the missing. If you're new to the channel, I not only cover true crime, but I actually go out and help with missing persons, which obviously Dylan Rounds is a case that I've been heavily involved with and still not finished with. Unfortunately, it's just kind of winter right now, and it's kind of put a damper on some things. But hopefully, real soon, probably just right after the holidays, we're gonna get back out there and hopefully put some closure to that, because there's some other cases that I would like to move on to. So with that, Jackie says, always love hearing Officer Steve's perspective. Yeah. Amazing guy. Wish I could have had him on the show just to kind of get his thoughts, but I think he might be going live today. Usually does. So if you do subscribe, look out for a live coming up. And then we will be going live tomorrow. Just a couple final things. Thank you to Raina who donated through Cash App. That really helps. Donating through Cash App and Venmo, because YouTube usually takes a piece, so that really helps me out. And you guys have been so wonderful. We have a great community here. Most people, I mean, are so respectful. If I can talk, and I just love it. I couldn't do it without you guys. So, with that said, let's make sure I don't forget anything. We're gonna play outro. If you're new to the channel, I play a video of an outro with my the viewers' pets, and I kind of got 9 videos, and I rotate through them each time of each live. I rotate each one, so it's a lot of fun. So it's a way to say thanks for watching my channel, because I love pets, and like I said, we're going to be doing some other fun things along with the interesting useless facts. So look out for that. I hope you guys have the rest of a great day. Thank you guys so much again for taking the time of your day to watch my channel. Please hit that like button on your way out. And we're going to go ahead and play the outro. I love you guys, and we will see you guys tomorrow.